More than 40 years have passed since the tragic death of the iconic actress, but her name is still shrouded in mystery and lives in the hearts of millions. How did the daughter of immigrants achieve breakneck success at the Dream Factory? What lies behind the mysterious circumstances of her death? And who is really to blame for the death of the star? Natalie Wood is a true style icon of the classic Hollywood era, a 3-time Oscar nominee and winner of 3 Golden Globes. She managed to reach unprecedented heights, becoming one of the brightest personalities of her time. But, as is often the case with brilliant people, a broken fate was hidden behind the brilliant facade. A difficult childhood, violence and death experienced in his youth, more like a dark detective story, the finale of which has not been solved to this day. Natalia Nikolaevna Zakharenko was born on July 20, 1938 in San Francisco, California. Her parents, Maria Zudilova and Nikolai Zakharenko, moved to the United States shortly before the birth of their daughter, changing their surname to a more euphonious one for America, Gurdin. In a new country, the father of the future star took on any hard job, moonlighting as a carpenter, while the mother obsessively dreamed of an acting career for her daughter and looked for any ways to realize this ambitious idea. From an early age, Maria took the girl to the cinema. They spent hours watching cult films and analyzing the actor's performance in detail. Later, Natalie admitted that it became a peculiar but incredibly useful professional education for her. However, the mother's desire to mold her daughter into a star often prevailed over common sense. The woman exerted severe psychological pressure on the child, forced him to communicate with unpleasant people, forcibly dragged him to auditions, and suggested that cinema was the only possible way. In many ways, it was an attempt to compensate for her own failures. As a child, Maria dreamed of becoming a great ballerina, but she never succeeded, deciding to realize her unrealized ambitions through little Natalie. The mother's efforts quickly bore fruit. The girl got her first role at the age of 4, and by 1947, the 9-year-old actress shone in such large-scale hits as Miracle on 34th Street and The Ghost of Mrs. Muir. They were followed by an avalanche of offers from directors. But the early triumph also had a dark underside. The young star suffered from a whole bunch of phobias, prolonged depression and panic attacks since childhood. The fall in glory became too heavy a cross that Natalie had to carry all her life. It's amazing, but with enormous employment, by the age of 16 she already had more than 20 films in her filmography. She was brilliant at school. The teachers noted her rare gift for exact sciences and incredible diligence. At the age of 16, Natalie's serene youth was cut short. Close to the actress and her biographer, Suzanne Finstad, later recalled a dark secret. The girl had survived a brutal betrayal by an influential Hollywood master who was her mentor. It left a deep scar on her heart. That man was married and had unlimited power in the film industry. Natalie was too intimidated and helpless to speak publicly about what had happened. She understood that his high status would make him untouchable, and her cry for help would simply be ignored, Finstad noted. Natalie herself chose to erase this horror from her memory. According to her sister, Wood felt almost physical pain at the slightest mention of his name, so over time she learned to hide this traumatic fragment even from herself. After recovering from the shock, the girl threw herself into her work. In 1955, she starred in Nicholas Ray's landmark film Rebel Without a Cause, which earned her her first Oscar nomination. There were dark rumors that Natalie's mother had forced her into an intimate relationship with the director in order to get this role, but the actress categorically avoided this topic. Anyway, Hollywood finally saw in her not just a pretty child, but a deep, dramatic actress. Wood's personal life was also in full swing. In the mid-1950s, she was credited with a whirlwind romance with Elvis Presley himself. And in December 1957, she married actor Robert Wagner. Their relationship was followed by the entire press, but the fairy tale lasted only 5 years. Natalie's success grew exponentially, while her husband's career steadily declined. Robert loved Natalie, but he tormented her with terrible jealousy, throwing tantrums because of late returns from filming. They were constantly fighting, the couple's friends recalled. The 60s were a golden era for Natalie.
Выход легендарного
The
мюзикла
release of the legendary
«Вестсайдская
musical
история»
West Side Story,
закрепил за ней
1961,
статус суперзвезды.
cemented her superstar status.
Следом вышли успешные «Джипси», «Большие
The
гонки»,
successful Gypsy,
«Великолепие в
Big
траве»
Race,
и
Splendor
«Любовь
in the
с
Grass,
подходящим
and Love
незнакомцем»,
with a Suitable Stranger
добавив в ее
followed,
копилку
adding
еще
2
две
more Academy
номинации
Award
на награду
nominations to her piggy
киноакадемии.
bank.
В 1969 году актриса попыталась
In
найти счастье во
1969,
втором браке
the actress tried to
с
find
британским
happiness in her
продюсером
second marriage
Ричардом
with British
Грексоном.
producer Richard
У
Gregson.
пары родилась дочь
The
Наташа,
couple had a daughter,
но спустя
Natasha,
3 года
but 3
и
years
этот
later this
союз
union broke
распался.
up. Tired of the setbacks, Natalie decided to take a break from her career and devote herself to her daughter. But fate had prepared an unexpected turn for her. Her passion for her first husband, Robert Wagner, flared up with renewed vigor. In 1974, they married for the second time, having a romantic ceremony on the beach in Malibu. Their daughter Courtney was born soon after. From the outside, it seemed that an absolute idol reigned in the family. Their union was considered a benchmark in Hollywood. They did a tremendous job on mistakes and sincerely fought for their love, the actress's sister Lana warmly recalled. But behind the glossy smiles, there were old demons hiding. Already in 1973, rumors began to spread about the mutual infidelities of the spouses. Robert's explosive nature hadn't gone away. He was still looking for reasons for paranoid jealousy and making loud scandals. The relationship escalated to the limit in 1979, when Natalie won the Golden Globe for the film From Now On and Forever. The attention of the press shifted back to her, which was unbearably annoying for her husband, who was losing popularity. The denouement of this story shocked the world. On November 28, 1981, Natalie, Robert Wagner, actor Christopher Walken, Wood's partner in the new film, and Captain Dennis DeVerne set sail on the Splendor yacht to Santa Catalina Island. The official version of the investigation read, "In the evening, Natalie flirted too openly with Walken. An enraged Wagner made a scene, after which the actress went alone to her cabin. And in the morning, her lifeless body was taken out of the icy water. The cause of death was accidental drowning. Mysterious bruises and abrasions were recorded on the body, but the police attributed them to an accident during the fall, and the case was closed." The public and relatives of the actress flatly refused to believe the authorities. Lana's sister claimed that after an old injury on the set, Natalie was terrified of dark water, and under no circumstances would she dare to lower an inflatable boat in the middle of the night alone. The abrasions on the body suggested a terrible thought. The injuries could have been inflicted by an angry spouse during a fight. Hundreds of people, including Frank Sinatra, Elizabeth Taylor, and Laurence Olivier came to see the movie legend off at the cemetery in Westwood Village. Unanswered questions have plagued fans for decades. In 2011, 30 years after the tragedy, the investigation took a sensational turn. The yacht's captain, Dennis Deverne, broke his silence. His new testimony shocked the world. Deverne admitted that Wagner and Walken had a really tough fight that night. But Walken went to his cabin, leaving the couple alone on deck. The quarrel between Natalie and Robert continued, and Wagner categorically forbade the captain to interfere. When it turned out that Natalie had disappeared, the enraged husband did not allow the floodlights to be turned on and deliberately dragged his time by calling the Coast Guard only a few hours later. Under the weight of these clues, the police changed the official cause of death of the actress to drowning or other unspecified circumstances. Robert Wagner, who is now over 90, continues to stand his ground and flatly refuses to cooperate with investigators. In 2020, the actress's daughter, Natasha Gregson Wagner, helped produce the documentary Natalie Wood, What Remains Behind the Scenes. The film shed light on many aspects of the star's life through archival films and unreleased photos. But the main question, what exactly happened on a cold November night on the deck of a yacht, remains one of the darkest and unsolved mysteries of Hollywood.